I think it's a great opportunity for us. I think, we got a chance to protect the home court, and I think we plan on doing that. I think it's going to be a tough game. Obviously, they weren't going to want to bounce back after last game, but we got something to prove too. We want to win too.
Well, Jaylen Brown had some comments after Game 3 that said this series is starting to not look like basketball anymore. Just curious what your reaction is to that.
I'm gonna keep it a bug game. I don't even really care. That we all hit a hoop.
What have you made of the physicality of this series so far?
Love it. I think that we don't play a non-contact game. I think we play a physical game. So it's a contact sport. You gotta be ready to get touched.
What worked against Peyton Pritchard in Game 3?
I think we just did a great job preventing his attempts. Obviously, I don't think he even got a three-point attempt up. So I think that was big. And then obviously forcing Jaylen Brown and Jason Tatum into a lot of shots. They a lot of mid-range contested twos, and that took away from a lot of his shots. So I think that was big. But we got to just be ready to do a great job. Not just him, but Derek White too on the other side of it, because they were X factors in those first two games.
You guys have had a lot of success taking away teams' three-point attempts this year. Just specifically with Boston, what makes the challenge of their top-to-bottom shooting such a threat, and how have you guys succeeded in doing that?
I think for us, the biggest thing we've done is limit their attempts. I think, the first two games, I think they might have attempted 35 or 36, and I know they've been averaging on the season about 50, 51. And in the last game, I think we held them to 27 three-point attempts, where I think they hit, 9? And so that takes away from a lot of their scoring ability when they're getting these wide open spray out threes, they're getting these tough contested twos. And so I think for us, we just got to keep that up.
How are you guys limiting those number of not only threes but open threes?
I think just guarding our yard. I think that was a big thing last game. Obviously, AB, Gary came in, were huge off the bench, just guarding. They came in, had some big spark plays for us. KCP's obviously guarding. P and Fran's been guarding. Dell. I mean, everybody's been guarding. That's been the main thing, and it's just been kind of a read your ride. Not trying to overhelp too early. Instead of trusting that our teammate can stay in front of the man most of the time. But obviously, if they get cracked on the screen or something, or if they get beat, we're gonna have their back. But just trying to read that.
What have you made? Not that they're any easier without him. But what impact did you call it have in Game 3, knowing now that we'll be out there as well?
He's obviously a big factor for them, where his ability, where when he's on the court, he just kind of roams the defensive side, just kind of at his own discretion, goes where he wants to, and he's a very smart defender, and so he does a great job at that. And so him not being on the court, it definitely doesn't. I'm not gonna say it helps them with him being off the court, but for us, we got to play with the five that's on the court. So can't really trust about him being in and out of the game. If he's in, cool. If he's not, obviously we're going to not have him tonight. So we'll be ready for that.
And the game is so emotional, especially in the playoffs.
Yeah.
How do you keep your emotions in a big game like tonight?
It's no one end all be all answer for that, but I know for me, I try to breathe a lot. I try to just find joy in my teammates. Just trying to find some joy in their success, and then not let these refs get in our head. That's been a big thing for I think dang near everybody in the playoffs, is letting these refs kind of affect you. And so I think for us, we just gotta try not to worry about them so much. And this is mainly me talking to myself, but the team too.
When AB and Gary do what they do and they pick up full court like they did in Game 3, how does that kind of spark the rest of you guys on the floor?
Yeah, I mean, it makes my job pretty easy because they guard. They so great at on that other side of the ball. They give me a little slack. I can take a deep breath sometimes, but obviously I'm gonna be there guarding right there with them. But they especially last game, they just had I think it was like a 3-possession stretch where I think AB stole the ball twice. Gary might have got one too. They're awesome on that defensive side of the ball.
You've been here for AB's whole time here. Where do you think he's progressed the most compared to like the playoffs a year ago?
Well, I don't think he played much last year. So I think for him, just getting that opportunity has been big. And obviously, we all know he's capable. And for him to be able to just get out there and hoop like he has the last couple, it's been good to see. And so my goal is to get out there and hoop with him a little bit tonight. So get myself going.
How is he growing more comfortable from Game 1 to Game 3 and specifically throughout the series?
Yeah, he's just he's gotten more opportunity as the series gone on. He's been ready when his name is called. He's guarded. He's been productive offensively. He's been playing at a high level, and especially last game he was very good, and that's helped us get the win.